Governor Perry, in 2007, the governor's office reported that you attended the International Bilderberg Group in Istanbul, Turkey, using funds from the PAC Texans for Rick Perry. Considering that this violates the Logan Act, how do you respond to the citizens of Texas?
Logan? Are you talking about Wolverine? That's X-Men. That's a fantasy world. We live here in Texas. And the Build-A-Bear Company? Psh, people all over the United States and in Texas enjoy their fine, family-oriented, high-quality products. And as far as turkey, Thanksgiving, hello, it's delicious.
Miss Medina, the following video segment was taken during a Tea Party rally in Austin, where you seem to be advocating violence.
Sometimes the tree of liberty must be watered from time to time with the blood of pirates and criminals!
How do you respond to that? Mr. Perry, in the last debate, you commented that U.S. citizens from Oklahoma would have to become Texas citizens in order to receive the in-state tuition rate. Seeing how illegal immigrants don't have to do that, how do you defend such an obvious injustice?
Look, I don't see why it's so hard to understand. All the people in Oklahoma got to do is renounce their citizenship, move to Texas illegally, and then they're in. Free everything.
Ms. Medina, a buzzword that's going around the gubernatorial campaigns is nullification, which is a direct reference to the 9th and 10th Amendments of the Constitution. Some may even say that you're the biggest proponent of using this tool. But what would you have to say to Texans that may not agree with this use?
Well, those tools exist whether those citizens agree or not. Nullification gives states the rights to nullify or invalidate any federal law which that state has deemed unconstitutional. When our sovereign states form the Union, they hold final authority regarding the limits of power of the federal government. They are the ultimate interpreters of the extent of the national government's power. It's pretty clear what tools are offered to us. The 9th Amendment reads, the enumeration in the Constitution of certain rights by the people. And the 10th Amendment is even more clear when it says the powers not delegated to the United States by the Constitution or to the people. Did you hear that? It's pretty clear. We Texans have a right to deem laws of the federal government unconstitutional, and therefore we nullify and interpose to it. We Texans are not forced to comply with oppressive, tyrannical laws. This does not mean that we will secede or break away from the Union, because we've all pledged an allegiance to the flag of these United States of America. This nation is under God, justice for all. For example, the deliberations of the Constitutional Convention were held in strict secrecy. And because of that, in order to learn what had been produced behind closed doors, Mrs. Powell of Philadelphia, republic or a monarchy? No hesitation whatsoever, Franklin responded, a republic, if you can keep it. Our national symbol is the American ball, slightly wedge-shaped. Males and sexual dimorphism is evident in the species. Are 25% larger than the males. Includes swoops, chases, and cartwheels. Free fall, separating just before they hit the ground. Shh. Pete becomes a keeper of Clark's secret. One thing we can't keep a secret, the legend grows stronger in Smallville. Natural, premium quality are the words consumers associate with my campaign. For this land is your land. This land is my land. From the redwood forest, stream water, purple mountain majesties, among the fruited plains. And there we were. So I just told her, look, he's my man, and this is my gun. So if you want to make something out of it, we can make something out of it. And there it was, and the foot was just dangling. And dangling, and right there at that moment, I had to gut him. And on occasion, I still pull out his wallet and I say to myself, Jim McGuire, you poor son. And the parallel dimension, and he isn't Locke anymore, and I just don't know. But I do know that this season is even better than last season. And that's why we must assert our defense against the tyranny of the state, the travesty of unjust taxes without representation. The cause of my campaign is your cause, for I am one of you. And if you will join me as I come as one of your own to fight, not as they fight with cruel and corrupt words built on an empire of lies, but on truth, come stand with me, shoulder to shoulder, and kick some ass. We Texans!
Senator, in your campaign ads, you accuse the governor of using stimulus money to make it look like the Texas economy is better than it is. If you don't think this kind of spending is conservative, why did you vote for it?
I just voted for it. It's the governor's job to veto it or nullify bad federal legislation. You see, banks were running out of money and needed my help to keep their profits, and my campaign contributions were in jeopardy. You have to understand that Texas has gone through a lot, is going through a lot, and has a lot of going through to go through, and we have lost more than 513,000, 10. Hold on a second. Hey, Deb, this is Senator Hutchison. How many jobs did you say we lost in Texas in the privatized public sector? Could you give me a call back as soon as you can? Thanks. So, now what about TxDOT?
Continue with part 3.